with the muscular ogre, the pillaging evil had destroyed the city of Winter. And so the former harbor city was consumed by the flames. All that remained was a smoking pile of misery. The third part of the Winter series should probably be named Ash Beach of Death then. At the victory celebration, the ogre insisted on giving a little concert with his solo band. Unfortunately, no one was able to face the odors that followed his butt trumpet solos, and even Talia escaped with the smell-sensitive evil's army as the poor soul-serving ogre collapsed, wheezing on the ground. And so the resource-wasting evil had once again captured a ship to again sail off to some other place. This story is so, exciting and varied. And so the carefree evil's army sailed for the not-quite-so-free cities, a network of unacceptably prosperous towns spanning the islands in front of the mainland. It went without saying there was no way they could be ignored on the way to the capital city. But even more important was the fact that Elric the Pretty was there. A good-natured, narcissistic paladin who served the goddess, and far, far worse, one of Tanos' comrades in arms. Certainly, Talia wouldn't pass up a chance to get one over on her foster father by shearing one of his little lambs and roasting it over a slow fire. Where did I put great-grandfather's paladin It's So Wonderfully Juicy recipe book? The relentless evil's armies had reached the not-quite-so-free cities. Several large cities were spread across numerous smaller islands. The capital of Alphas was very close. This was probably where Elric the Pretty was to be found. Unfortunately, the not-quite-so-free cities were very well defended. A direct attack would be unwise. But the insidious evil had already formed a plan designed to weaken the defenses. There were a number of fresh water supplies located very close to the landing site. If someone were to add something to them, the effects could be very interesting.
Ah, that's why I have this vial of zombie virus with me. Excellent! Poison water, create undead. Got it. Onwards, creatures. Smash them, break their necks, introduce motions of censure against them.
Unfortunately, the waters were extremely tricky in this area and could rise and fall within a very short time. But sadly, the hydrophobic evil's creatures had never taken a swimming course.
Idiots. Morons. No loss there.
You could look at it that way, but the fatigued evil was getting tired of always replenishing its armies. It had therefore prudently already built a crypt in order to be able to revive horde creatures.
Sure, for all I care. I'm getting the itch, and that means I have to destroy something soon.
What is that weird thing in the dungeon? Looks like some kind of portal, but it seems to be inactive.
Then we can ignore it for now.
Ah, yes. The simplicity of the maliciously minded. But anyway, the portal thingy, or whatchamacallit, seemed to be extremely solidly built and indestructible anyway. It therefore actually did make sense to ignore it for now.
To yourself. Evil will triumph. I will destroy this land. Ouch! I am the evil. Give your orders. Must die.
Payday.
Command me.
Suddenly, this portal thing in the dungeon started to light up. Something was happening. Heroes on the surface had obviously activated it and used it as a direct access to the dungeon, bypassing the arduous route through the overworld.
What? Heroes are using a portal into the dungeon. Crush them! Scratch their eyes out! Feed them cat food! I am even stronger! Hands to yourself. I will destroy this land. What can I do for you? I am the evil. What? What?
Even though I personally find it difficult to distinguish between that rotten, undead smell and the smell of fish, the local heroes' noses were much better trained. They soon set out to get to the bottom of things, which is to say, the underground. I mean, the dungeon.
What's up?
Talia had reached the first water supply and began a mystical ritual to contaminate it.
If by mystical ritual you mean that I simply slowly dribble this stuff into the water, then you are absolutely correct.
A nearby colony of shrimps was somewhat disturbed by the presence of the unrighteous evil's army. Or they might have just been hungry, whatever. Anyways, they set out to remedy the problem.
Go out there and kill those things. It's lobster and shrimp soup tonight.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
What can I do? No! Oh! I'll be back.
Your dungeon heart is under attack.
Death is not the end. yourself! Help!
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Death to all that is good!
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Death to all that is good!
It's payday. A rumor coursed through the ranks of the rumor-mongering evil's army that there was a time-worn ritual site somewhere in the area, where an ancient evil creature could be summoned. The immediately taking notes evil was extremely interested.
And how? Deadly new creatures are always good. Tanos will be amazed when I face him. What's up? Command me. want death? Time to take out the trash. Ha! Excellent! That should provide some gastric distress. Or for some walking dead.
The first water supply had been contaminated. 2 others were still waiting for a visit from Talia.
What? What? What's up? Do you want that? I am the evil. What can I do for you?
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Count the trash. Destroy them all. It flows through my veins. Command me. What do you want me to do? You desire. Command me.
Heyday!
Do you want kill? Yeah?
The jubilant evil scouts had discovered something that looked suspiciously like a ritual site. Legend has it that one had to sacrifice a number of creatures to the tide in order to create something powerful and evil.
Right. So, time to play Dunk the Creature. Everyone line up and prepare to drown by numbers.
Ah, it says here that they have to be skeletons. You have to sacrifice skeletons to the tide.
Oh, right. Okay. Everyone except the skeletons get back to work. Droning has been cancelled for now. At least for everyone except the skeletons. What?
There are enemies in your dungeon. Prisoners are being freed from your dungeon.
Time to die. Come from above. I want Tanos's head. I'm the Queen of Evil. I want Tanos's head. Evil will triumph. What can I do for you?
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Do you want more?
One of the cannon fodder burning evil's creatures disappeared into the tide. As the water receded, another creature was revealed. A lich, a mighty undead mage, had emerged from the water to willingly join the contented evil's army.
Good will fall. Take me to the enemy. Ooh! What do you want me to do? Tanos must die! I will destroy this land. Good will fall.
Heyday!
What's up? Give your orders. I'm the Queen of Evil. Good will fall. I want Thanos' head. Dark power fills me. Evil triumph. What do you want me to do? He's not gonna get up. I will destroy this land. Who do you want, Dad? What can I do for you? I am the evil. Everything good must die. Who do you want to kill? Water supply. Excellent! They'll never know what hit them. I mean, literally, I hope that stuff either makes them blind and deaf or turns them into zombies. I don't care. Chaos and destruction.
But the local heroes were not quite as stupid as those elsewhere and suspected that something was wrong. a group immediately set out to protect the water.
Damn environmentalists, what a bunch of pains in the neck. Go stop them! Rip out their fingernails, smear them with rancid bacon fat. I emptied that entire bottle of virus stuff into there, so I guess that's it. It's not like it's an exact science. On to number 3.
Payday. Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Bye-bye, baby! I will destroy this land. Fall. Is unstoppable! Give your orders! I knew you'd need me. I am even stronger!
Some shrimps seemed anything but enthusiastic about somebody hanging around their home and set out to do something about it. It's payday.
Command me!
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. The last water supply had been contaminated. Excellent work. Now that all the water supplies had been contaminated, the satisfied Evil's army could move into the interior, towards the capital of the not-quite-so-free cities, Alphas.
Huh? That was it for here? Didn't bring us anything at all, did it? I don't see any effects.
Wait for it. Pipes and pumps carried the water into the not-quite-so-free cities. That's where the effects would be felt.
Oh, excellent! So what are we waiting for? I have to talk to Elric. I'm a little disgruntled that we haven't run into that idiot yet.
Still not heard anything from your good side?
Nothing. But she's about as useful as bunions anyway, right? Let's just hope she stays wherever she is.
Ups and downs. The relentless evil had reached the not-quite-so-free cities in order to defeat another one of Tanos's comrades, the Titan of Alphas. Once the waters of the not-quite-so-free cities had been contaminated, the oppressive evil's army set out to destroy the city's last landmark, the bronze Titan of Alphas. The merciless evil's army marauded through the not-quite-so-free cities. The Bronze Guardian, the wonder of Alphas, was very close by. If it fell, that would dramatically weaken the locals' fighting spirit. Meanwhile, the contaminated water was working away.
Hey, you really don't look good. Are you contaminated? But... The contaminated must die!
But I have a wife and children! Ah!
Every time one of the contaminated died, they reanimated as an undead. Ha! Now this is fun. Paladin Elric tried to regain control of the situation.
Undead? Ha! An unworthy opponent for an outstanding paladin such as myself. Die, monsters! You dare to kill a part of me, monster! Ha! You will pay for that. But I think I'd better resurrect myself again first. An outstanding victory for the forces of good. Once again, my fighting power shines in the goddess's glory. Time to heal my wounds. No problem, thanks to my wondrous powers.
Meanwhile, Talia had to deal with the tides.
Hurry! Hurry! High tide is coming! Go now! Ugh. Unholy hopping hellhounds! We should have offered our creatures a swimming course. Saved on the wrong things again. Oh, fine, whatever. At least we're here now. The underground here is too soft for a dungeon, but we should be able to take them anyway. Come on, follow me. Mow them down, kill them, shove your fingers in their noses. I knew you'd need me.
The marauding evil's army had discovered a farm. If this was taken, the inhabitants could also easily be converted to undead.
Permanently converted with axes and clubs. Command me. Evil will triumph. I'm the Queen of Evil.
The wicked evil had taken the farm and converted the inhabitants to undead. Splendid work. There were several villages in the area. The inhabitants there would surely convert to undead with a little convincing.
Okay, I know what to do. Hit and hit and hit until nothing moves. And then enlist it in the army when it starts moving again. Can do.
The vilest evil's army had reached the southern village. A few beatings combined with their brief demise quickly converted the inhabitants into undead. Oh, it seemed the villagers had also locked up one of the already transformed. It could prove very useful.
Yeah? Yeah? Everything good must die. Who do you want dead?
Joyous Evil had freed a vampire from captivity. These mighty creatures were excellent fighters who froze their opponent's blood in their veins if they didn't suck them dry like an overripe orange. Evil had reached the western village. The inhabitants there were just begging to be transformed into undead. At least, that's what I'll say. Who cares what they really want?
What do you want me to do? Thanos must die! I will destroy this land.
The anemic evil had liberated yet another vampire.
Thanos must die!
The necromantic evil had built a graveyard. Normally, that didn't really mean much at all, but the contaminated water had soaked into the underground there.
Undead! rise and obey my commands. I am the Lich King. I mean Talia. General of the Devil, the disgusting evil. It is time to end your rest and face the repugnant living. Everything good must die. Evil will triumph. Come on. Command me. Command me. Thanos must die.
The plundering evil's army had entered the northeastern village. The inhabitants there would surely be quickly and carefully turned into undead. Come on, lend a hand here.
Evil is unstoppable. I knew it. Bye-bye, baby. I knew you'd need me.
The bloodless evil had freed a vampire who immediately joined the army. The mighty evil continued to march undaunted on the bronze titan of Alphas. On the way, it reached an army camp belonging to the hero. This was led by the paladin Elric. Reinforced by the contaminated from the surrounding villages, it entered this battle joyously and carefree.
Stop! Who entreats entry into the camp of the glorious Elric the Pretty?
Who the hell calls themselves the Pretty?
Ah, Talia. I've been looking for you. Ha! My excellent mind tracked you down, just as I expected.
I came here on my own. You didn't track me at all. You just sat around on your lazy arse while I sacked the entire area.
Ah, silence, you wretched monster! I will now punish you. In the name of good, in the name of the goddess, and in the name of Thanos, your days are numbered.
Are you finally done, you braggart? I'll put you away. I'll cut you down. I'll wipe your mouth with a dirty old rag.
Ha! Do you really think you're ready for me? You're no worthy opponent for me. The goddess herself has blessed me. I am worth 3 paladins.
Oh, stop exaggerating and let's finally get down to...
No, I really am worth 3. Watch and wonder. By the power of the goddess, multiply me!
Okay, 什么人？
Thanos must die. I want Thanos' head.
Healthy, I am whole. How I heal my body and soul.
I'm the Queen of Evil. Everything good must die. Thanos must die. Command me.
They say I have healing hands. You killed Elric the Resurrector. For that you will be punished. You killed Elric the Healer. Just wait, you will pay for that. I am simply stunning. How could I lose against you. This cannot.
The bronze titan of Alphas had been destroyed. Nothing more stood in the way of the destruction of the not-quite-so-free cities. The victorious evil triumphed yet again. Oh yes, and it had also destroyed the last of Tanos' companions in the process. Now, it was time.
You killed Elric! Enough is enough. Now, I'm going to take care of you personally. Everything evil shall be destroyed!
Now it really was time to face Tanos. The doubtful evil was not convinced that Talia was up to this fight.
I can take him. I hope.
还有几成就呢？
The Titan of Al...
Time to take out the trash. Destroy them all. Hey!
They say I have healing hands.
Take out the trash.
T-Hop
Destroy
stunning
them
I
all.
am. You killed Elric the Resurrector. For that you will be punished.
I will destroy this land.
You killed Elric the Healer. Just wait, you will pay for that.
Everything good must die.
I am simply stunning! How could I lose against you? This cannot...
The bronze titan of Alphas had...
我理解了。